Africa has the biggest gold reserves in the world, but did you know that these African countries with abundant gold reserves actually end up exporting almost all of it? What happens is that foreign companies, mainly companies from Western countries, come in, mine the gold, and then ship it back home. In return, these African countries only see a small portion of the profits, instead of getting a fair share or even keeping some of the gold themselves. This unfair system is one of the key reasons why so many African nations are still poor and face challenges in stabilizing their economies. Their precious resources are essentially being drained away. But here's something interesting. The president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, is taking a stand against these exploitative practices. Recently, he issued a bold order banning all gold exports. Instead, Burkina Faso will retain its gold to back up its currency. This move aims to make Burkina Faso's currency the only one in the world pegged to gold, potentially making it extremely valuable. So, how did President Traore implement this ban, and what has been the reaction from Western nations, whose gold markets have been disrupted? Let's dive into the details in this video. What's unfolding in Burkina Faso is something that those who wish to see Africa remain dependent could never have imagined. Burkina Faso is making a bold move toward economic independence under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore by creating its own treasury deposits bank. According to the latest official announcement, President Traore inaugurated the new bank, known as BDT, on Friday, August 2nd, 2024. At its headquarters within the public treasury in Ouagadougou. This isn't just the launch of a bank, it's a significant step toward reclaiming the nation's financial sovereignty. The BDT aims to provide accessible banking services to all citizens, with a network that stretches across regional, provincial, and departmental treasuries, ensuring that everyone, no matter where they are located, can benefit. As a public financial institution, the Treasury Deposits Bank will serve a broad range of clients, including public institutions, state companies, local authorities, international organizations, private businesses, NGOs, and individuals. Its primary mission is to handle the banking functions of the public treasury, offering services like account management, resource collection, and transaction processing. The BDT will also introduce digital payment methods and develop innovative banking services to meet the evolving needs of its customers. The establishment of the Treasury Deposits Bank is a critical milestone for Burkina Faso as it strides toward full monetary sovereignty. For years, Francophone countries like Burkina Faso have lacked true central banks of their own, relying instead on institutions like the Central Bank of West African States, often viewed as extensions of the Bank of France. Now Burkina Faso is taking control of its own financial destiny. European countries, despite lacking their own gold mines, have managed to accumulate vast reserves of gold that is, in fact, taken from African nations. President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso is acutely aware of this exploitation, where foreign companies extract enormous quantities of gold from his country, leaving Burkina Faso with only a fraction of its wealth. In a bold move, Traore has put a stop to this by banning gold exports and taking back control of Burkina Faso's resources. His government has swiftly halted the issuance of export permits for artisanal and semi-mechanized gold, along with other precious materials. This means that no gold mined within Burkina Faso will be allowed to leave the country. Traore has made it clear that this suspension is part of a broader strategy to clean up the gold sector and better manage the marketing of these valuable resources. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on Africa's geopolitics, economy, and the changing landscape. Let's get back to it. It's worth noting that around 10 to 30 tons of gold are mined artisanally in Burkina Faso each year. Going forward, Burkina Faso will be holding onto this gold, as well as the gold extracted by foreign companies. Traore is taking immediate and firm action, evidenced by the recent closure of 43 gold mining sites in the Bukavu region in the northwest of the country, citing security concerns. But the changes don't stop at just banning exports. Burkina Faso's government has taken a huge step forward by launching the country's first gold refinery, a vital move toward reclaiming control over its most precious mineral resource. This new refinery, based in the capital, Ouagadougou, is set to produce about 400 kilograms of gold per day. According to Ismail Saibi, CEO of Marina Gold, the company co-managing the project, the refinery is expected to produce its first 22-karat gold bars in just 11 months. At the launch event, Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, emphasized the significance of refining gold domestically. He made it clear that Burkina Faso will no longer need to send its gold abroad for refining. Instead, the entire process will take place within the country, ensuring that Burkina Faso retains knowledge and control over the true content of its raw gold. Despite gold's crucial role in the nation's economy, Burkina Faso has long struggled to fully manage this key resource. Traore highlighted that a significant portion of the country's gold has been leaving through illegal channels, which has contributed to ongoing issues with extremism. This move toward refining gold domestically aligns with a broader trend among African nations, many of which are turning to gold as a safeguard against currency instability and geopolitical risks. Other African countries like Uganda, Nigeria, Tanzania, and Madagascar are taking bold steps to bolster their gold reserves by purchasing gold domestically. This shift is largely driven by concerns over the stability of the U.S. financial system and the potential risks of relying too heavily on the U.S. dollar. These nations are keen to diversify their reserves and reduce their dependence on foreign currencies. However, a more pressing challenge is the influence France holds over the reserves of many African countries. In light of this, Burkina Faso's new gold refinery marks a crucial move towards securing its economic future. By refining its gold locally, Burkina Faso can keep more of its wealth within its borders and curtail the illegal gold trade that has been fueling conflict and instability. This locally refined gold will also play a key role in building the country's gold reserves, paving the way for the launch of a sovereign currency. The government is reportedly set to introduce several changes to the 2015 Mining Code, which was recently updated in July 2023. One of the most significant updates is the plan to create a national gold reserve. As per a Council of Ministers meeting held in March 2024, Burkina Faso intends to ask mining companies to contribute to this reserve. The updated mining code also brings new regulations for marketing gold and other minerals, aiming to create a more structured and transparent industry. In addition to banning gold exports, the government is actively involving mining companies in building up the country's national reserves. This initiative reflects the kind of sovereignty that many African nations are striving to achieve. The updated mining code also places a strong emphasis on increasing local participation in the mining sector. Companies are now required to offer shares to Burkinabe investors, and local officials have been given greater power to monitor and regulate mining activities. The state's mandatory stake in mining companies, which is necessary for obtaining a mining license, has been increased from 10% to 15%. This change aims to ensure that Burkina Faso benefits more directly from its natural resources. As a result of these efforts, Burkina Faso's declared artisanal gold production saw a significant jump, rising from 266 kilograms in 2021 to 457 kilograms in 2022. This boost in production has had a noticeable impact on the state's revenue, with direct contributions to the state budget increasing from 430.9 billion CFA francs in 2021 to 540.9 billion CFA francs in 2022, an impressive rise of 110 billion CFA francs. Gold continues to be Burkina Faso's leading export, with revenues from gold exports reaching an estimated 1 trillion CFA francs, making up 73.86% of the country's export earnings. This solidifies gold's status as the top export product for Burkina Faso since 2009. Ibrahim Traore's accomplishments so far are truly remarkable. He hasn't just stopped gold exports. He's also introduced the country's gold refinery to handle the processing of raw gold. The plan is to channel all this gold into Burkina Faso's first state bank, which will then use it to back a new currency. This means the CFA franc will soon be a thing of the past. Instead, a new currency will be introduced, one that's backed by gold rather than tied to the colonial-era financial system. This move will give Burkina Faso true financial independence, allowing the country to control its own wealth and capital. What do you think? Should other African leaders follow suit and ban the export of gold and other precious metals? It's clear that for Africa to achieve lasting change, unity among its leaders is essential. Africa has more than enough natural resources to flourish, potentially even outpacing Europe. The key is reclaiming control over these resources. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Africa can thrive by taking back control of its resources? If you love this video and would love to see more videos like this, be sure to like and subscribe.